just with the original point, that was Brown's first thing that he did. And it was to start on this big Britishness thing. And it backfired on him totally, and then everyone was suspicious of him already, but they were doubly suspicious of him after that. And really, he's hated far more in Scotland than England, because in England everyone complains about him. In Scotland, he's, like, did you ever read the Asterix books when you were young?
Yes, I love them.
Like it never happened, the battle that never
Elysia.
happened. Elysia never happened. What's Elysia?
I don't even know where it is.
That's kind of Gordon Brown in Scotland.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Gordon Brown is. I never heard of him. Who is he? What's he? So it's even worse in a way. But it's Elysia. It never happened. Right, London. I come here often enough. This morning I did my millionth tour around, Westminster and all of that. And I had to explain to them, you could go Downing Street. You could go down Downing Street 20 years ago, but you can't now. I couldn't remember if it was Thatcher or Major that put the gates up, but
probably Major. He had less self-confidence.
Oh no, it was the thing with the IRA bomb, though, wasn't it? Someone shot a rocket at them.
I don't know,
but they did it from quite far away, and then I can't remember.
No, neither can I.
But there's this quote which I find quite offensive, actually, which is London, the finest sight a Scotsman ever sees.
Who said that?
I think it was a Scotsman, actually. Or it might have been, no, it was Samuel Johnson. Maybe.
Oh, it would be, wouldn't it?
He was a kind of anti-Scottish person. And you just want to shout, well, speak for yourself. But, London's nice to visit. I've got friends here, I've got family, some people in my family live here, but I couldn't handle living here permanently. What do you like about it, or not like?
I really don't know very much about it. I just live here. I lived in a large number of places before I came here, and the main thing now is to stay put, I think. Just on a personal level. And I wandered about a good deal when I first came here, but I seem to have grown out of it. And it's just somewhere where I live and work and make a living.
It's very grand as you go around, but then...
Well, bits of it are.
Yeah. But then
it's like any other city, bits of it are great, bits of it are decrepit, and bits of it you'd really rather not bother with. Yeah,
like on the bus, if you're coming through, you Peckham, or Elephant Castle's not such a marvellous place.
Yeah, I mean, I do most of my travelling on the tube, so which has two advantages in that, one, it's you don't see the bad bits, and two, everything's clearly labelled.
Last year, when I was doing the tours, Town of London, I couldn't buy into it, the glory of London and everything. It's just...
Not from the tower, you couldn't, no, it's not quite the right place.
No, I mean, isn't it?
It's a prison where people got their heads chopped off. I mean...
But they have birds.
They have...
Birds.
Ravens, yeah. It's a bit like vultures, ravens are birds of ill omen. 9 million people, and it's ages to go anywhere. So I can see why it's interesting. But then I speak to the people I know that live in London, and they say, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" I ask them, "What are you doing tonight?" No, nothing. Why not? Can't afford it. They're not going anywhere because it's so expensive just to live here. So the people in London probably see less of London than most other people. Very likely, yeah. Yeah, if you're a tourist, you go through all the interesting bits, and you go through them in, however long you've got, a couple of days or a couple of weeks or whatever. But if you live here, it gets, just get very blasé about it. Which is a very bad thing, really, because it really is what did I say earlier? A historical swamp. There's so much of it. You could spend an entire days reading just the blue plaques, people who've lived and worked here. But yeah, if you live here, you just get very blasé about all of it.
It's funny, the blasé about that, because I spent some time in Sicily, and they're very blasé about it in a different way, because it was Arabic, it was French, it was Italian, it was Roman.
English for 2 months, don't
English, yeah. Spanish.
And, so there's the Spanish thing there, the French thing there, the Arabic thing there. It's really interesting. And there's ancient Greek stuff, 2,500 years old. It's wonderful to see. But they're blasé about it in the way that they don't bother to signpost where it is, and they don't bother to, give you any opportunity to get there. No public transport links, nothing. So it's blasé in a very different way. Alright, so we're actually in Camden, sitting outside Hot Black Desiato, which is the estate agent where Douglas Adams got a name, and I like him, and I know you like him, so what is it about him that's different? Because I'm sort of fascinated by him in general, but what do you like about him?
Well, I first met him in the TV series, and what I remember hitting me about that was that he was talking about this little green-blue planet 93 million miles away from this little insignificant star, and I think that was what got me, the distancing, the distancing effect. Mm-hmm. He was talking about us without talking about us. Mm-hmm. So I bought the book and I read the sequels. I didn't read all of the sequels. I read them up to, I think I read the first three. Mm-hmm. Hitchhiker's Guide, Restaurant at the End of the Universe, and the one that came after that.
So Long, I think.
So Long and Thanks for the Fish.
Yeah.
And I also read, I can't remember the title. Last Chance to See.
Yeah. Which is just wonderful.
Which I've only read once, but which was, wonderful. And I'd like to read it again. But he's also great because he's quotable. There's bits of him that you can just rattle off without even trying. Disaster Area. Not just the loudest pop group, but actually the loudest noise. Mm-hmm. The fantastically beautiful planet Beth Salamin, which is worried about erosion from the tourists, so every time you go to the laboratory there you have to get a receipt.
Yeah.
There's hundreds and hundreds of things like that you can just quote because they're so funny.
The thing that I always got about him is that he has a habit, or he had a habit, unfortunately he's dead, but he had a habit of, which just seems to be the most extraordinarily difficult habit to get, which is being flippant and profound at the same time.
Yes.
Which there's not many other people who had that. P.G. Woodhouse, for example, was flippant and funny, but not flippant and profound. Douglas Adams, he makes these jokes with the finer points of physics and stuff. And
it's obvious he also cares about them.
Yeah.
It's not at all clear that P.G. Woodhouse cared very much about anything, except possibly his own comfort. But it's obvious that Douglas Adams cared very much about the environment. But he managed to write about it in a very, very funny way. And I can't do that, and I'm bitterly envious. But yes, he manages to care about things without becoming pompous about them.
Yeah, and actually, you said Last Chance to See earlier. I mean, most people know Douglas Adams for Hitchhikers, but Last Chance to See is just the most incredible thing to read. And I started my website, not my website, but my other one that I did, the Exit Stage Right, the animal extinction thing, inspired by that, which got me looking into it a lot more, and I've read a sort of making of Last Chance to See as well, which is interesting, and not read, listened to. It's an MP3.
Right.
You can download it, and the zoologist involved, Mark Cowardine, was talking about how, at the beginning, Douglas Adams was not particularly knowledgeable about these things, but give him a week and, and he's ahead of you. It was quite strange. You are quite envious when you read and listen.
Yeah, it sounds like he was an actual geek.
Yeah.
Give him a week and he'd be an obsessive and know absolutely everything about everything.
But Last Chance to See just really is the strongest book that he wrote in many ways. So powerful.
Yes. Yeah, I've only read it once, but it did make a very, very, very strong impression. I don't remember any of the gags for it, but I remember the gags from The Hitchhiker's Guide and The Restaurant at the End and all the rest, but I remember Last Chance to See as being a very, very, very good book.
I recorded that interview with Philip Challinor about a month ago. His website is thecurmudgeonly.blogspot.com, and you can get links to where you can get all of his books there. I suggest you do it. That interview was conducted in the pub. We were kind of interrupted a few times at one point by a rat, which you probably heard. But the next one will be a bit different, with Professor David Miller of the University of Strathclyde and also of spinwatch.org. He's written a lot of books, appears on television occasionally, and we're going to talk about the BBC. That one should be up quite soon, maybe in the next couple of weeks. With this one, I wasn't really quite sure how to put an introduction on it, but I've learned in the course of doing this one how to do the next one. So hopefully the production values on the next one will be a little bit better. And yeah, thanks for listening. My website is michaelgreenwell.wordpress.com, if you want to look at that. And again, no W's on that. Okay, so I'll see you in the next one.